You mentioned mood there. What's the connection between blood sugar levels and mental health? Because I think, again, even though we are making those connections now, I think often we don't recognize how correlated our diet and our mental health is.
That's the reason I got into this in the first place. So when I was a teenager, I had an accident. I broke my back jumping off a waterfall, had very intense surgery. I have lots of metal in my back now. And physically, I was fine because you recover fast when you're that young. But then my mental health started going really down the drain. So anxiety, depression, depersonalization, I felt like my brain was completely broken. I didn't feel like myself anymore. And I went on a journey to try to understand how to get better. And that's what got me studying biochemistry. That's what got me into genetics. And then almost 10 years after my accident, 10 years of darkness, I finally had my first clue. I was part of a pilot experiment, and during it, I could wear a glucose monitor. And I saw, Jay, that the days where my glucose levels were spiking and dropping a lot, my mental health was worse. And the days where my glucose levels were steady, my mental health was so much better. And this changed everything for me because I had been completely lost for the better part of a decade, trying to understand what the heck I could do to improve my mental health. And I was lost, let me tell you. And nobody said, oh, you should look at your lifestyle. But in that moment, I remember that day, I was feeling one of these episodes come on of depersonalization, which is this horrible mix of brain fog, feeling like a stranger in your own body. I mean, it's terrible. And I scan my glucose monitor and I see one of the biggest glucose spikes I had ever seen. And so I started putting two and two together. I said, wait a minute, is it possible that this glucose spike is actually causing this episode? Anyway, so that opened the gates really wide for me. I was like, wow, this is fascinating.